Let's talk about quantum computing. 1981, particle physicist, quantum physicist Richard Feynman imagined a new type of computer that can simulate nature directly. Simulate nature directly. Because nature is quantum. He called it a quantum computer. 40 years later, the industry has made a fundamental breakthrough.
For years, quantum computing has been a dream, something futuristic, distant, almost mythical. A technology so advanced, it promised to solve problems that even today's most powerful supercomputers can't touch. But this week, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang changed everything. Because what he just revealed isn't science fiction anymore. It's a new kind of computing, one that merges quantum processors and AI supercomputers into a single, unified system. And if he's right, this could reshape the future of artificial intelligence forever. To understand why this matters, let's start with the basics. At the core of every quantum computer are qubits, quantum bits that can exist in multiple states at once. They're powerful, but they're also fragile. Qubits are so sensitive that the slightest noise, heat, or interference can cause them to collapse. In the real world, that means today's quantum machines can only perform a few hundred operations before breaking down. But to solve meaningful problems, like modeling molecules, cracking encryption, or training AI, you need trillions of operations. That's been the wall quantum computing could never break through. Until now. In a stunning announcement, Jensen Huang introduced what NVIDIA calls NVQ-Link, a groundbreaking interconnect architecture that bridges quantum processors directly with NVIDIA GPUs. Think of it as a neural bridge between two worlds, the probabilistic realm of quantum mechanics and the deterministic power of classical computing. This is not about replacing one with the other. It's about fusing them. For the first time, quantum processors can offload their calculations to NVIDIA's GPUs in real time, correcting errors as they happen, something once thought impossible. Let's pause here for a second because this is the kind of detail that sounds technical but has massive implications.
There's an inflection point happening in quantum computing. The number of logical qubits are starting to grow. 40 years later, just last year, a fundamental breakthrough. It is now possible to make one logical qubit. Well, just like Moore's Law would, I could totally expect 10 times more logical qubits every 5 years. One logical qubit. One logical qubit that's coherent, stable, and error-corrected. 100 times more logical qubits every 10 years. Those logical qubits would become better error-corrected, more robust. In the past, now that one logical qubit consists of, could be sometimes tens, sometimes hundreds of physical qubits, all working together.
See, quantum computers don't just fail when they make a mistake. They erase the information entirely. Measuring a qubit collapses it. It's like trying to read a snowflake without melting it. The only solution is quantum error correction, adding extra qubits that entangle with others, allowing you to detect where an error occurred without disturbing the original data. It's brilliant in theory. But it's also so computationally demanding that even the world's fastest supercomputers can't handle it efficiently. That's why Huang's reveal is so important. NVQ-Link was built precisely to solve that. By connecting quantum chips directly to NVIDIA GPUs, NVQ-Link allows terabytes of data to move back and forth thousands of times per second. That's enough speed to detect, calculate, and correct quantum errors on the fly, without destroying the fragile state of the system. At the heart of this system is something called Q2Q, NVIDIA's open platform for quantum GPU computing. It lets researchers coordinate both quantum processors and AI supercomputers simultaneously, effectively turning them into one brain. And for the first time, we're looking at a platform where AI and quantum computing can work hand in hand instead of existing in separate silos. To grasp how revolutionary this is, imagine what happens when AI and quantum physics stop being two separate fields and start powering each other. Quantum systems could feed AI models data from realms we can't even simulate today. AI could optimize quantum circuits, correct errors faster, and design entirely new materials or drugs at atomic precision. It's the dawn of accelerated quantum supercomputing, where two once impossible technologies merge into one. And NVIDIA is placing itself right at the center of that revolution. Huang didn't say this outright, but the implications are clear. NVIDIA isn't just the GPU company anymore.
As you know, qubits, these particles are incredibly fragile. Higher performance, more resilient, and of course, will continue to be scalable. They could be unstable very easily. Any observation, any sampling of it, any environmental condition causes it.
About developing new materials, Jim, at the molecular level, perhaps down the road. They do have this partnership with Novo on drug discovery.
And so it takes extraordinarily well-controlled environments and now also a lot of different physical qubits for them to work together.
Look, I've been waiting for that. Recursion was supposed to be 1, 2, and the drug person is excellent. I'm keep hoping that they do some big deals on.
And for us to do error correction on these, what are called auxiliary or syndrome qubits.
Cancer, you're able. I've been listening to a lot of people who claim they have AI, and it's starting to bother me again because they're doing spreadsheets.
For us to error correct them and infer what that logical qubit state is.
I'm calling it AI. After working with all of the sites that are now saying they're really good at math, they're awful at math.
There are all kinds of different types of quantum computers. Superconducting, photonic, trapped ion, stable atom, all kinds of different ways.
But you're seeing, I mean, I did a piece last night that basically said, okay, here we go. IONQ, D-Wave quantum, Rigetti, quantum computing.
To create a quantum computer. We now realize that it's essential for us to connect a quantum computer directly to a GPU supercomputer.
I'm not saying I'm a sage.
No.
I am saying that Jensen is giving the green light to a lot of companies that may mean absolutely nothing, but they have quantum in their name.
So that we could do the error correction, so that we could do the artificial intelligence calibration and control.
I mean, Honeywell's been very honest and said, listen, we're not ready.
Right.
And IBM does have quantum, and that's one of the reasons why IBM is at an all-time high.
Quantum computer, and so that we could do simulations collectively, working together, the right algorithms running on.
Those are incredible moves. If you were lucky enough to have decided that quantum was where you wanted to be at the beginning of this year, you are very happy, or even last year.
Well, what do you mean
Guys,
that?
The GPUs, the right algorithms running on the QPUs, and the two processors, the two computers working side by side.
well, I mean, I think it's not yet proven, right? We don't know.
But it's younger people who are really cashing in.
And you've made
this. Sit here and tell people to buy Smucker.
You've made this.
This is the future of quantum computing. Let's take a look. There are many ways to build a quantum computer.
Point, right? You've made this point about nuclear and certain crypto
Well,
assets.
it's very disheartening.
I'm
I'm disheartened by it.
Well, don't be disheartened.
Why?
Each uses qubits, quantum bits, as its core building block. No matter the method, all qubits, whether superconducting qubits, trapped ions, neutral atoms, or photons, share the same challenge.
What value added do we have? I read the names.
You want to get heartened? Read Sam Altman's blog post from last night. It's entitled "The Gentle Singularity."
They're fragile and extremely sensitive to noise. Today's qubits remain stable for only a few hundred operations.
We had Jensen. I think when you talk about the leaders right now in terms of where the future is, it's Jensen, and a lot of it's Sam Altman.
But solving meaningful problems requires trillions of operations. The answer is quantum error correction. Measuring disturbs a qubit.
They're great friends, and with this, you remember, nothing took off.
I took out a few things
until
that
he gave Sam the
I took out a few things that just struck
Sure,
me.
please tell me something good.
Destroys the information inside it. The trick is to add extra qubits, entangle, so that measuring them gives us enough information to calculate.
It's a letter that I think people should read because it's got a lot of different things in it, but part of it is, of course, talking about the near-term advances that are coming.
Where errors occurred without damaging the qubits we care about. It's brilliant, but needs beyond state-of-the-art conventional compute.
2030s, for example, he writes, intelligence and energy, ideas, and the ability to make ideas happen are going to become wildly abundant.
That's why we built NVQ-Link, a new interconnect architecture that directly connects quantum processors with NVIDIA GPUs.
It's the operating system of the future. They already dominate AI training with their H100 and Blackwell chips. Now, they're positioning themselves as the connective tissue between AI and the next generation of quantum machines. And if NVQ-Link works the way it's designed, NVIDIA will control the very infrastructure that every future quantum and AI system depends on. This isn't just about faster chips. It's about rewriting the foundation of computing itself. Jensen Huang's reveal also challenges one of the biggest misconceptions in tech, that quantum computers will one day replace traditional ones. In reality, as he explained, quantum and classical systems will coexist, complementing each other instead of competing. Classical supercomputers will handle structured data, logic, and precision. Quantum processors will take on the chaotic, probabilistic calculations that classical hardware simply can't. Together, they form what Huang calls a fused platform, a hybrid system capable of tackling humanity's hardest problems, from climate modeling to molecular design, from AI cognition to advanced robotics. And the key to making all of this possible is NVQ-Link. Let's not miss how strategic this move really is. Quantum startups like IBM, Rigetti, and IonQ have been racing to build larger, more stable qubit systems. But NVIDIA isn't competing with them, it's enabling them. By providing the connective platform, NVIDIA becomes indispensable to everyone in the ecosystem. Whether your quantum processor uses trapped ions, photons, or superconducting qubits, you'll need NVQ-Link to make it viable at scale. It's the same playbook NVIDIA used with GPUs 2 decades ago. Build the tools everyone relies on, and you become the center of innovation itself. But this is also about AI supremacy. If quantum systems start accelerating AI training, NVIDIA's lead over competitors like AMD and Intel could become permanent. AI models that once took weeks to train could one day be optimized in hours, powered by quantum acceleration. And in a world where every major corporation and government is racing to dominate AI, that's the kind of advantage that could reshape global power. Still, it's not without risks. Quantum computing is unpredictable. The physics are fragile, the hardware is experimental, and integrating such systems with AI at this scale introduces cybersecurity, stability, and governance questions no one has fully answered yet. Even Jensen Huang admitted this is just the beginning. Quantum error correction is a monumental challenge, and despite NVQ-Link, it's far from solved. But as Huang said during the announcement, this isn't about waiting for perfect technology. It's about building the bridge now, so that when quantum computing finally matures, the infrastructure is already in place. That's classic NVIDIA. Move first, build the ecosystem, and let everyone else catch up later. The company has already transformed gaming, AI, and data centers. Now, it's setting the stage to transform physics itself. Huang's quantum reveal wasn't just about new hardware. It was about a vision, one where AI and quantum computing fuse into a single, accelerated reality. And whether the world is ready or not, NVIDIA is already building it. So what does this mean for the rest of the tech world? For Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, who all have their own quantum divisions, it means NVIDIA is no longer just a supplier. It's now a direct competitor in the race for computing dominance. For researchers, it means new possibilities. Solving molecular equations, modeling materials, or training AIs that can reason beyond current limits. And for everyone else, it means the future of technology might arrive far sooner than anyone expected. Huang's message was simple, but powerful. Quantum computing won't replace classical systems. It will work with them. Fused together, they'll create something faster, smarter, and more powerful than anything we've ever built before. And that's not a distant dream. That's NVIDIA's next product cycle. End. Cinematic outro line. This is the story of Jensen Huang's quantum reveal and how it may reshape not just the future of AI, but the very definition of computing itself.
Quantum error correction requires reading out information from qubits, calculating where errors occur,
We hear that word a lot, by the way,
Right.
abundant. These two have been the fundamental limiters on human progress for a long time. With abundant intelligence and energy and good governance,
and sending data back to correct them. MVQ Link is capable of moving terabytes of data to and from quantum hardware.
we can theoretically have anything else. He goes on to say, if we have to make the first million humanoid robots the old-fashioned way,
The thousands of times every second needed for quantum error correction. At its heart is CUDA-Q,
girls driving trucks, running factories to build more robots, which can then build more chip fabrication facilities, data centers, and the rate of progress will be quite different.
our open platform for quantum GPU computing. Using MVQ Link and CUDA-Q, researchers will be able to do more than just error correction.
And finally, last part I'll take for you guys, and the one I've been focused on, there will be very hard parts, like whole classes of jobs.
They will also be able to orchestrate quantum devices and AI supercomputers to run quantum GPU applications.
Going away. But on the other hand, the world will be getting so much richer so quickly that we'll be able to seriously entertain new policy ideas we never could before.
Won't replace classical systems. They will work together, fused into one accelerated quantum supercomputing platform.
We probably won't adopt a new social contract all at once, but when we look back in a few decades, the gradual changes will have amounted to something big.
This is a physical job. So today we're announcing the NVQ Link. NVQ Link.
Well, okay,
Because
so
nobody's going to have a job, so we're all going to be wandering around looking
No,
for
Jen-
some purpose.
Y-
We're going to have an age of abundance. An age of abundance.
it drives me crazy.
Thank you.
And it's made possible by two things. Of course, this interconnect that does quantum computer control and calibration.
Handmaid's tale, and we need people. And you may think that look, and we're rounding up people in this country and sending them where God knows where.
Direction, as well as connects two computers, the QPU and our GPU supercomputers, to do hybrid simulations.
We don't let anybody in the country. We have a series of jobs now that the only people who really wanted them were people who felt, look, this is how I can get my kid to a college.
Really scalable. It doesn't just do error correction for today's number of few qubits. It does error correction for tomorrow. Essentially, scale up these quantum computers from the hundreds of qubits we have today to tens of thousands of qubits, hundreds of thousands of qubits in the future. So we can do control, co-simulation, quantum error correction, and scale into that future. The invention of CUDA-Q, remember, CUDA was designed for GPU, CPU, accelerated computing. Using both processors to use the right tool to do the right job. Now, CUDA-Q has been extended beyond CUDA so that we could support QPU and have the two processors, QPU and the GPU, work and have computation move back and forth within just a few microseconds. The essential latency to be able to cooperate with the quantum computer. Breakthrough adopted by so many different developers. We are announcing today 17 different quantum computer industry companies. And I'm so excited about this. 8 different DOE labs. Berkeley, Brookhaven, Fermi Labs in Chicago. Just about every single DOE lab has engaged us, working with our ecosystem of quantum computer companies, integrate quantum computing into the future of science. I have one more additional announcement to make. Announcing that the Department of Energy is partnering with NVIDIA to build 7 new AI supercomputers to advance our nation's science. I have to have a shout out for Secretary Chris Wright. He has brought so much energy to the DOE, a surge of energy, a surge of passion. Computing is the fundamental instrument of science, and we are going through several platform shifts. On the one hand, we're going to accelerated computing. We're going to AI, so that AI and principled solvers, principled simulation, principled physics simulation is not going to go away. Enhanced, scaled, use surrogate models, AI models, working together. That principled solvers, classical computing, could be enhanced to understand the state of nature using quantum computing. That in the future, we have so much signal, so much data we have to sample from the world, remote sensing is more important than ever. These laboratories are impossible to experiment at the scale and speed we need to unless they're robotic factories. So all of these different technologies are coming into science at exactly the same time. Secretary Wright understands this, and he wants the DOE opportunity to supercharge themselves and make sure the United States stay at the forefront of science. I want to thank all of you for that. Thank you.
We've been working with OpenAI through Azure, Microsoft, and OCI and CoreWeave.
All over the place, literally. I mean, you're in the UK, I saw the white bow tie and all that. The tux.
You look very nice.
Yeah, you're here, it was very nice. But you're also doing a lot of investments.
And so through third parties for quite a long time. In fact, in 2016, I delivered the world's very first AI supercomputer called DGX-1.
Intel investment announced last week, quite a bit smaller than this one, but seems significant also because it's weaving NVIDIA technology
to a startup, a nonprofit startup in San Francisco, and that company turned out to have been OpenAI. And so we've been working with them for quite a long time.
The PCN data center level in a way that perhaps it wasn't before. Where do these kinds of investments fit in? How do you think about the value?
The OpenAI partnership is an addition to what we're already doing with them on the cloud. The Intel partnership is about recognizing that accelerated computing and AI's day has arrived. Remember, general purpose computing was invented practically 60 years ago. Contracts, we're going to continue to execute on all that. But our partnership with them is quite unique in the sense that this is the first time we're going to sell directly to them.
The AI war just got personal. NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang, the man behind the world's most powerful chips, has finally broken his silence after Sam Altman's shocking partnership move with AMD. What was once a close collaboration between OpenAI and NVIDIA may now be turning into a rivalry that could reshape the entire AI industry. With global spending on AI projected to hit nearly $1.5 trillion this year, the competition for dominance is fiercer than ever. OpenAI's decision to strike a deal with AMD, NVIDIA's longtime rival, sent shockwaves across Silicon Valley. And when CNBC sat down with Jensen Huang to discuss it, his response made it clear, NVIDIA isn't backing down. For nearly a decade, NVIDIA has been the silent engine behind the AI revolution. From ChatGPT's early training runs to Tesla's self-driving systems, NVIDIA's GPUs have powered the breakthroughs that defined modern artificial intelligence. So when Jensen Huang appeared on CNBC earlier this month, the world expected calm confidence. Instead, we got subtle frustration and a quiet warning to Sam Altman. During the interview, Huang recalled NVIDIA's long history with OpenAI dating back to 2016, when his company delivered its first-ever AI supercomputer, the DGX-1, to a small nonprofit startup in San Francisco. That startup was OpenAI. Since then, NVIDIA and OpenAI have worked together through partners like Microsoft Azure and Oracle Cloud, building the massive compute infrastructure that made ChatGPT possible. But everything changed when OpenAI, now led by Sam Altman, announced a new collaboration with AMD. According to Bloomberg and CNBC, the deal involves AMD supplying custom AI chips to OpenAI in exchange for a significant strategic stake, something Huang described as unique and surprising. When asked if he knew about the deal before it was announced, Huang admitted he didn't. He calmly said, "Not really, but our deal is very different from theirs." Then he drew a sharp distinction. NVIDIA, he explained, isn't just selling chips, it's building entire AI factories. We're the only company in the world that focuses on the full AI infrastructure, from CPUs, GPUs, networking chips, and switches, to the software stacks that bring it all together, Huang said. It was a subtle but powerful jab. While AMD was chasing partnerships, NVIDIA was already years ahead, building the backbone of AI supercomputing. Still, the AMD OpenAI deal caught investors off guard. According to Reuters, AMD offered OpenAI a 10% stake in exchange for an exclusive partnership, a bold move meant to challenge NVIDIA's dominance in high-end AI hardware. When asked about that deal, Huang smirked. He called it imaginative and clever, but couldn't hide his surprise. "I'm surprised they would give away 10% of their company before they even built it," he said, subtly questioning AMD's confidence in their own upcoming chips. That single comment sent waves through the tech community. It was the calmest explosion you could imagine. A CEO reminding the world that NVIDIA doesn't need stunts to stay ahead. Huang's remarks also highlighted how far NVIDIA's technology has come. 5 years ago, a single GPU chip was enough to drive innovation. But today, he explained, creating an AI supercomputer requires multiple specialized chips, optimized across every layer of the system. An AI supercomputer, he said, is the most complex computer ever made. While Moore's law, the principle that computing power doubles every 2 years, has slowed, NVIDIA has found new ways to accelerate. Each year, its systems become multiple times faster than the last generation. And that's something AMD has yet to match. But beneath the calm tone, Huang's comments reflected deeper tension. NVIDIA and OpenAI were once aligned in vision, pushing the limits of AI together. Now, Altman's pursuit of independence, through his own AI factories and chip projects, signals a shift that could threaten NVIDIA's dominance. According to The Information, OpenAI has quietly explored designing its own custom silicon to reduce reliance on NVIDIA's expensive GPUs. The AMD partnership is a stepping stone toward that goal, a direct challenge to Huang's empire. From NVIDIA's perspective, it's betrayal disguised as innovation. Huang didn't use that word, but his subtext was clear. NVIDIA helped build OpenAI from the ground up, and now the student is trying to outgrow the master. Still, Huang maintained professionalism. Instead of criticizing Altman directly, he emphasized NVIDIA's unique strengths. By selling full systems, not just chips, NVIDIA ensures companies like OpenAI can scale AI workloads more efficiently.
Until now, we've been only selling through the clouds. And so we're going to keep doing that. And for the last 60 years, we've been following that basic blueprint, that basic architecture, to build the ecosystem, the computing ecosystem of the. But the thing that's really exciting is that now, by selling directly to them, we could help prepare them for a day when they're self-hosted. And so all of a sudden, accelerated computing's time has come, and we're fusing, if you will, the Intel architecture with the NVIDIA architecture, the scaler. And our agreement basically entails us selling entire systems and infrastructure into the world of accelerated computing and AI. So that's what that partnership's about. This partnership, I mean, this is, monumental in size to them. We're the only company in the world today that really focuses on building the entire AI infrastructure, from CPUs to GPUs to networking chip project, a technical project of this complexity and this scale ever. And it really just says that AI was in the early adopter phase, and switches of all kinds and all the software stacks that go along with that. And so we're quite a unique partner for them to be able to do this. It's in the labs, and finally it's breaking out into just about every single industry, every single use case we can imagine. It is very soon.
I guess the question becomes, it's great for you to sell directly to them, but they don't have the money to buy it at this point. Is that's why the deal was structured the way it is, where you'll get a stake?
Where every single word, every single interaction, every single image, video that we experience on, through computers, they don't have the money yet. Yeah. And the way that it's going to happen, for every gigawatt of AI factories will somehow have been reasoned through or referenced by or generated by AI. It's going to be touched by AI somehow. So all of our computing experiences, you're probably going to need about $50 to $60 billion for the land-powered shell and all the computing and networking and all that, everything that goes along with that. Throughout the day, everywhere, in every industry, will be powered by AI. This is the first 10 gigawatts. And they're going to have to raise that money through, first of all, the revenues, which is growing exponentially. It sounds like an enormous undertaking, but there's no question that AI is transformational for every industry, equity or debt. And they gave us the opportunity to invest alongside other investors when the time comes. But the important thing is the AI infrastructure will be everywhere. and it will power computing experiences for everyone, every day. And it's going to be just everywhere. And so it's not something we have to do, but it's something that they're giving us the opportunity to do, and I would love to do.
They have announced their intentions very clearly that they want to add up to 30 gigawatts of capacity. So in the end, it is all tied.
You know, one of the things that we did, we invested in OpenAI early on. My only regret is that we didn't invest more.
As Huang put it, our partnership with OpenAI is still strong. We'll continue executing our cloud contracts, but this new agreement allows us to sell directly to them, and that's a first. This direct sales model marks a turning point. For years, NVIDIA sold primarily through cloud providers. Now, it's engaging directly with AI developers, giving it tighter control and deeper integration. Exactly the kind of move that keeps it ahead of rivals like AMD and Intel. But the bigger question is, can anyone actually catch up to NVIDIA? Right now, NVIDIA controls over 80% of the global AI chip market, according to Canalys. Its newest architecture, Blackwell, unveiled earlier this year, is already being adopted by tech giants like Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft. Each system can cost up to $10 million, and demand still exceeds supply. AMD's chips, while promising, face an uphill battle. Their MI300 accelerators are powerful, but as Huang noted, one chip alone isn't enough. NVIDIA's edge lies in its ecosystem, a web of hardware, software, and networking optimized together. As Forbes reported, this synergy makes NVIDIA's platform incredibly hard to replace. Even if AMD builds faster chips, without NVIDIA's software stack, CUDA, TensorT, and AI frameworks, developers would struggle to replicate the same results. So where does this leave Sam Altman? He's betting on diversification, reducing dependency on NVIDIA, and exploring new chip architectures that give OpenAI more control. But as Huang hinted, that road is long and expensive. Building AI factories costs billions, and even OpenAI's rapid growth might not sustain that scale without partners like Microsoft. Huang's calm tone during the CNBC interview masked what many analysts described as a strategic warning. NVIDIA isn't angry, it's focused. And while AMD may have gained attention with its partnership deal, NVIDIA remains the undisputed backbone of AI infrastructure. As CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin wrapped up the interview, Huang smiled and said, "They're a really good company. We take them very seriously, and we're just going to keep running." That final line says it all. Jensen Huang doesn't need to explode in anger. His company's performance speaks louder than words. The AI race isn't about who shouts the loudest. It's about who builds the future faster. And right now, NVIDIA is still setting the pace.
I mean, this is the most profitable, well, the most valuable startup company ever. And so this is a great opportunity.
Goal of, adding 30 gigawatts. And just to put it in perspective, I mean, the entire gigawatt capacity of all the hyperscalers combined.
You mentioned that your deal is very different from AMD's. AMD is in a situation where they're basically giving away a big chunk of their company to be able to be a partner.
Is around that ballpark, 30 gigawatts. So they are talking about, some big numbers in terms of capacity additions. How they will do it?
With OpenAI and sell them some of their goods. Is that how you read it?
Yeah, I saw the deal. It's imaginative.
One is through a deal with Oracle. So that was a $300 billion deal. Then they signed a $250 billion deal with Microsoft.
It's unique and surprising. Considering they were so excited about their next generation product, I'm surprised that.
So when you look at it from that perspective, 38 billion is not that big. And look, I mean, I can see what OpenAI is.
They would give away 10% of the company before they even built it. And so anyhow, it's clever, I guess.
Doing because they've seen, Anthropic sign a deal with Microsoft first, and then they signed a deal with Google TPU.
Yeah, I wondered the same thing. And Lisa Su, who, by the way, is a distant cousin of yours,
yeah,
right?
She's terrific. Yeah, she's terrific.
The way they've set this up, though.
Anthropic and OpenAI are the purest plays when it comes to LLMs. And if Anthropic is getting all that compute capacity from the two hyperscalers
of giving it away, they're also making some big assumptions that their chips are going to be able to compete with your chips that are coming out down the road. Do you think that's the case? Let's talk about vendor financing, because that has been something that has raised a lot of questions on Wall Street since you cut this deal with OpenAI.
Chips are quite special, and we're running really fast. We're the only company in the world today that builds all of the chips inside and
yesterday, Bloomberg is reporting that you have a $2 billion in financing that you're going to be involved with xAI to help
AI infrastructure. And today, back when we first started, 5 years ago even, an Ampere chip or a Hopper chip is just one chip.
Help them with these same stories. But this idea of circular financing, your customers can't afford to buy these chips yet, so you're going to help them out with money along the way.
Today, if you want to build one of these AI supercomputers, it takes a whole bunch of different types of chips that get the performance out of it.
That leads some people to think back to what happened with companies during the big buildup like a Lucent or a Nortel in the early days.
Because, you know, Moore's Law, the transistor itself is really slowing down. And we want to create those X factors of performance increase every single.
Is this different, and if so, how?
Well, first of all, xAI, I'm super excited about the financing opportunity that they're doing single year, and we're delivering these new systems every single year, and every year it's multiple times faster than the last generation. You know, if the only regret I have about xAI, we're an investor already. The only regret I have is I didn't give him more money. In order for us to do that, we have to optimize the entire AI infrastructure. That supercomputer is the most complex computer the world's ever made. You know, almost everything that Elon's part of, you really want to be part of as well. And he gave us the opportunity to invest in xAI. I'm just delighted by that. And we optimize across all of that, design new chips every year. So one chip alone is not probably going to be able to deliver the type of results we do. And so that's an investment into a really great future company, and I'm really excited about that. That's not venture. But anyways, they're a really good company, and we take them very seriously, and we're just gonna have to keep running. It's not vendor financing per se, but what's going on in the world versus what happened in 2000 is just dramatically different.
You're also doing a lot of investments. The Intel investment announced last week, quite a bit smaller than this one, but seems significant also.
Back then, as you recall, there were pets.com, hospitals.com, and all of the internet companies combined was, what, $30–40 billion in size?
Because it's weaving NVIDIA technology in the PC and data center level in a way that perhaps it wasn't before.
If you look at the hyperscalers now, that's where the first tranche of AI infrastructure is.
Where do these kinds of investments fit in? How do you think about the value of the ecosystem to NVIDIA?
Building. If you look at the AI, the hyperscalers, that's about $2.5 trillion of business that's already operating today.
The Intel partnership is about recognizing that accelerated computing and AI's day has arrived. Remember, general purpose computing was invented practically 60 years ago.
That business, that $2.5 trillion business, and the CapEx that goes underneath that is about, call it $500 billion.
And for the last 60 years, we've been following that basic blueprint, that basic architecture, you know, to build the ecosystem.
That transition from a classical CPU-based computing to now generative AI computing,
the computing use of the world. And so all of a sudden, accelerated computing's time has come, and we're fusing, if you will,
powered by GPUs. That transition is just starting. So we've got to build into $500 billion worth of capacity.
The Intel architecture with the NVIDIA architecture to bring them into the world of accelerated computing and AI. So that's what that partnership's about. This partnership,
infrastructure that's already naturally growing by itself, and we're in the beginning phases of that. If you just look at NVIDIA's AI infrastructure business,
I mean, this is, you know, monumental in size. There's never been an engineering project, a technical project of this complexity and this scale.
You know, call it a couple of $100 billion so far. You're a couple of $100 billion into a multi-trillion dollar build out. So that's number one.
Ever. And it really just says that AI was in the early adopter phase in the labs, and finally it's breaking out into.
The second part of it that's really unique is that we have a new generation of AI companies. The new AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and just about every single industry, every single use case we can imagine. It is very soon where every single word, XAI and companies that are well, Thinking Machine Labs from Mira and Ilya Sutskever's SSI, every single interaction, every single image, video that we experience on, through computers will somehow have been reasoned through or Misha's company, Reflection, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of amazing AI model builders now. This generation of AI model builders, referenced by or generated by AI, it's going to be touched by AI somehow. So all of our computing experiences throughout the day, everywhere, in every industry, what's happened in the last several months, a transition happened that is really, really important. For the last several years, they've been generating tokens, will be powered by AI. This is the first 10 gigawatts. It's surely, it sounds like an enormous, these AI tokens, basically at a loss. And the reason for that is because the early AI models they were super interesting, but there's no question that AI is transformational for every industry. But the important thing is the AI infrastructure will be everywhere. But they weren't useful enough to pay for. The last several months it's been very clear that the new technology is now reasoning and it will power computing experiences for everyone every day. And it's going to be just everywhere. It's doing research. Before it answers a question, it goes on the web and studies other PDFs and websites. It can now use tools.
The rivalry between NVIDIA, AMD, and OpenAI is far from over. Each move reshapes the landscape of artificial intelligence, from who controls the chips to who controls the future. If you found this analysis insightful, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the AI revolution, and stay tuned, because the next battle in Silicon Valley's AI war might already be unfolding.